Funny story, guys. Can't see me, can you? This is often what I work until. I work until dark. And my greenhouse has lights. My husband got these for me last Christmas. It's 2 strands from Amazon of the solar lights here. And then he also got me these little lights. They're really bright. See, it lights up my whole workspace. That way if I can't sleep or if I have stuff to do late at night, I can come out here and do it. It's got a lighter setting, but that's kind of dim. Can't really see as much. And then it's got a horrible flashing one that makes you want to throw up. So, but there's a lighter one. So this is what I work until. I work until dark. Right now I have to spray neem oil and fish emulsion. I had somebody who was supposed to be coming to pick up some flowers for a wedding tomorrow. I have them all cut. I was waiting for her to come so she could pick out which flowers she wanted and I could, you know, personally give her the ones that she wanted. But she didn't show up, so I cut them in case she needed them first thing in the morning. Maybe she got sidetracked with other wedding stuff, you know. It's very busy, and a lot of stuff you have to do right before, especially I would think flowers are definitely one of them. Especially if you're using fresh flowers, you'd want them to be as fresh as they could be. So I'm sorry that the video quality isn't good, but it's dark out there. For some reason... Sorry, my house looks like there's a Christmas tree on the side of it. Oh, you can't see it. See that little light right there? From here it looks like well, when I look at it, it looks like a Christmas tree, and I can't tell what in the heck it is. So I'm gonna walk up. Oh, it's just the light in the window behind a bush. Makes more sense now. Okay, so I gotta go fish emulsion and do all that, and I will talk to you guys in the morning. Hey everybody, so I was making jam and I thought I'd show you waste not, want not. So we're gonna grow some pineapples. This is how it looks when you're, sorry we're in the light, this is how it looks when you're starting to, I guess it would be like some way of rooting or like a propagating. We're getting into the season. Fall is when I propagate all my stuff for spring in the greenhouse. So any hardwood perennials or cuttings, I'm going to try and do roses again. I've never had luck with roses. I've never been able to propagate them. I've done different methods. I've done healing in. I've done the potatoes. I've done the root hormone. I'm going to try them all again. So you can come with me on that, and any suggestions if you have propagated roses would be awesome. But I've grown pineapples before like this. It's really easy. You just use your pineapples that you get from the store. These ones we're turning into pineapple rosemary jam, and then I got 4 more that we're going to turn into a pineapple jalapeno. So I'm going to take all the tops, so I'll have 8 cups on this windowsill. This is a south-facing window, so it doesn't really get much light, but it gets more light than any other window in the house. But these are pomegranate cuttings that I took from the plants out back. When your trees get really long branches, you don't want just one really long branch on a fruit tree. So if it gets really long, cut it 1/3 of the way down or even in half, and then next year in the spring it'll branch out in 2 spots. So then you can do the same thing. When those 2 branches get really long, like 2 feet long, cut it down 1 foot. And then it'll branch out, and that's how you keep your fruit trees looking nice and full and lush. But I'll take you along later when we put the root hormone and propagate those. I'm going to send some of these to Kaylee too. I also have we moved the jackfruit seeds from a bowl of soaking water into the wet Ziploc bag method, so it's sandwiched between wet paper towels. We're germinating those. I'm going to send some of those to Kaylee too if it works out. For jackfruit trees, I guess they grow really fast but can only be grown in a greenhouse, so covered during the winter, because they are for zone like 9, 9B, 10, and 11. We are actually 8B, close to 9. So even mine will need to live in the greenhouse. They'll be in a big pot, just like my bananas are in a big pot, so I can move them in and out. I want to hopefully have my husband on his long list of things to do before winter. In the grow room, this is my grow room. It's actually a bedroom that I stole from one of the kids, so both the girls share a room, the littles, the 3 and the 2-year-old. But I have my grow racks over there. I have 2 of them with grow lights on all the shelves, so I can regulate the temperature, and I can start sooner and plant later, so I can plant all year round in here. I store my tea jars, my seeds, vinegars, oil jars. Usually I have stacks of mason jars, but not this year. I have sprout seeds to try and grow fodder. All my egg cartons everywhere for eggs. I used to have seeds over there, but when I'm sprouting and starting and growing stuff, it gets kind of wet in here. So even the egg cartons have to move out when there are actually plants on the grow rack. But I have big pots of pomegranates, which possibly could stay outside. But I definitely have other things that I have to move into big pots, and move my bananas in here, and I want to move my apricots in here. But I need a light, like a big, like the shop lights over there that are on those top shelves to give me more growing space. I need a stand in the middle of the room to hold my bigger, small trees right now. So that's, I call the grow room. That's where I store any of my stuff for work. I have apple butter that I just made. I have a sugar plum spice jam, and then we're gonna work on the pineapple. But so here's what you do with the pineapple. So we take the pineapple. I have to cut these tags off first. Okay. Didn't want to hurt it. Take the top. The greener ones are better. These have been sitting over there for like a week, so, but then you just twist. I twist the top one way and push the fruit the opposite way. So just twist, and it pops right out. And then you want to peel off the bottom layers. It helps if you rip sideways instead of like down or up. So pull sideways to get them off. And you want to take off the bottom 1.5 inches or so. Sometimes you can see roots inside that are already developed. I'll show you if I find any. But don't be afraid to just peel these all off. You want a good bit so when you put it in the water that the roots will develop. And this, if you do it this way, then you can just keep having pineapple. You know, when you get, it takes 2 years for a pineapple to grow, first of all, which is, I never understood why they're so cheap at the store, because it takes 2 years. But once you have a good amount to stick in the water, and most of the dead leaves, if you did get one with dead leaves, or maybe you got one and waited a little while like me and put it off, you want to get so that you got good green leaves here and only a little bit of dead, and a good 1.5 inches or so. Here are some roots right here. I don't know if you can, I can get it to focus. There are some little roots that are starting to form. But we'll just take a 4-ounce mason jar, and we're going to fill it with some water. And then we will set this in here like this. Of course, I put too much water in. Hang on. There we go. Then we're going to set this in the windowsill. It doesn't have to be in direct sunlight. It doesn't have to be in direct sunlight. It can be indirect. And you want to change the water every 2 days or so, because you don't want that smelly, swampy, yucky water in there that will make it rot or make it susceptible to insects or anything like that. You want clean water, so you change it every couple days. And then you set it over here, and it should take, in 7 days you'll have small roots, but if you wait 2 weeks, 15, 16 days, you should have decent sized roots. You could always wait 3 weeks, you know, if you forget or don't have time. You want good established roots before you put them in a pot of water. And then, in a pot of dirt. And then when you put them in your pot of dirt, you water it in good. And then you just have to water it maybe 3 times a week for the first bit. But it's also a good idea if you water from the top to fill up like it would in a rainstorm. The leaves would fill up in like a funnel in the top of the pineapple leaves, and then just walk by. When you walk by, look in. If it's wet in the middle of the pineapple leaves, you're good. It'll drain down and feed the pineapple as needed. And then if there's no water in the center of the pineapple leaves, just fill it up, pour a little water over it again, and it'll feed the pineapple as needed, which is usually only like once or twice a week. But when you first plant it, you probably want to water it, 2 or 3 times a week. You want to do it more often to get the roots to hold into the soil. But so I'm gonna let you go so I can finish up on this jam and putting all of my little pineapples into jars so that I can make some pineapple plants. Don't conform, people, be transformed. Oh yeah, like and subscribe for more information on gardening, recipes, planting tips, farm animals, all that fun stuff. See you guys later.